Hey people, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm making a guide about the fundamental and legacy differences between each of the fireballs for the Street Fighter cast. I'm going to leave timestamps down below so you can skip to the specific character you want to look into, but you might want to know about everyone's fireball properties for anti-fireball strategies as well as defense. Anyway, let's just get into it. So first of all, we're going to start off with Ryu. Ryu obviously is the groundwork for all fireballs. The unique thing about his fireballs is that his XE ones will knock down. He likes to knock down because it helps him with his game plan, which is slowly pushing the opponent back with his special moves to get them in the corner, where his combo game sort of opens up, as you can see here. So things start opening up in the corner. He has this Denjin Hado. This basically makes his Hados go through any other Hado. It gives it 2 hits, essentially. Helps it with hitting down drive impact, as well as just kind of ruling the horizontal space, or forcing them to use an Odu Hado in response to yours, which will use up 2 of their drive bars, which is not a great trade. So just pressuring them with this really helps out. If you hit them with a light, it jails with the fierce, and that goes for if you knock them down with the OD, a fierce will knock them out meaty when they stand up. So yeah, like this is the basic differences between his Hado and everyone else's. Another thing that happens is in the corner you can get a small float property, which opens up his combos a little bit. I wonder if I can get it. It opens up his combos. There's a few things that you can do with that, but that's his basic differences. His OD Hasho Hadoken is just slightly more damage and will go through other OD Hados. I don't think it's super necessary to win the fireball war with this. It's not worth using your charge. I would just drive impact if they do an OD Hado. It's just going to give you more drive bar back, or you can just block it. It's not anything really scary at the end of the day. One thing to keep in mind, and this is the same with like most OD Hados, is that they come out incredibly fast. Sometimes it's certain spacings, it's unreactable. So yeah, this goes for Ryu and a lot of the other Shotos, that sometimes Hados become unreactable, and that can help with your game plan. Anyway, that's the main differences between Ryu's Hado and a lot of other people's. He has a reasonable recovery window from Hado into Shuryu. You should always just be waiting for it, but it's not as great as like Guile's. When you're throwing fireballs as well, you can also throw in Hashos. The animation is very similar to Hadokens, and it gives you a little bit of forward momentum and recovers faster for DPs. This used to be like his fake fireball in earlier titles, but yeah, you can also block fireballs with this if you hit with the tip. Same with like the super powered version, but yeah, I wouldn't rely on this for blocking fireballs. Also, there's of course Tatsu, which will let you go through fireballs if you're in a fireball war, and it's unreactable. It's very fast as well, so at certain distances you can just do this when you expect a fireball to come out, and then move forward and knock the person down. Use heavy to side switch, etc. And I would be begrudged if I didn't mention that the light is the slowest to come out, but has the most frames on hit, and medium is like the middle ground. Fierce is the fastest. It has more frames from a range, but generally on hit it's like bad. So just use that however you wish. It's good to get certain rhythms, like certain rhythms can jail at certain spacings. The strength of the Hado also affects the recovery frames. The Hasho Hado has got no recovery frames pretty much, and neither does the OD, but for instance the heavy Hado has more recovery frames for that faster speed. This affects when you can use your Shuryu, so make sure to get the best strength for each spacing, and this goes for pretty much every Fireball character. Ryu of course has a super Fireball. It's super fast. You can combo it off of your Hado. If you have Denjin, it becomes super duper charged, and will be better in Fireball Wars against other supers that are super powerful. Now with Ken, he actually has very similar timings with Ryu, so everything I have to say about spacing, timings, strength of fireballs, pretty much all the same. And when they're in the air, it'll knock back. On counter, it actually, the thing about Ken's fireballs that are different is they provide more frame advantage, and the reason why this is that Ken is sort of a mix-up variant of what Shoto is, so he doesn't need like all these nuances like knockdowns to get him into the corner, because every single move of his will drive them to the corner. So the thing about his is he gets 13 frames on his OD. His OD fireballs don't knock down, they have the amazing frame advantage that you can just start mixing people up. So like there's certain ranges like where some of his moves like will like just instantly like give him enough frame advantage to combo. And that's the main difference between Ryu and Ken's fireballs, is he doesn't have the Hasho stuff, he only has this OD fireball that gives a lot of frame advantage depending on wherever you are, but generally it will help him win the fireball war. It's not like super fast as like Ryu's, and you can drive rush right behind it, as you can see there, and you can just like go full screen, like ignore all the fireball war and just go right in. So that's like the main difference between Ryu and Ken. I would be grudged if I didn't mention that Ken also has Tatsu for getting through fireballs. His OD Tatsu is also an anti-air, so you don't have to rely on DP inputs. So if you're like holding back, you can just like let this rip, if you know what I mean. His Shoryuken has much more forward momentum, and if you use the OD variant, it also goes through fireballs, and you can also do the running version, which will also go through fireballs, has tons of forward momentum. This Tatsu also, I believe, goes through fireballs, so he has a lot of things that allow him to just phase through fireballs in general. So he doesn't really need to play the fireball game at all. It also forces standing, which allows certain things like if they're like crouching too much and you want them to like, it'll sort of mix them up a little bit. So there's like things like you could like do something like that. So the main difference between Chun Li and the other cast is obviously she's a charge character, so she comes under the rules that she has to charge her fireball. Obviously that comes into it, but as you can notice, her fireball is very slow, so it allows you to advance forward using it as a sort of barrier for pokes as well as other fireballs. And it lets you get in close to start pressing with her very long normals. So like you could do something like that, like fireball, and then like behind it use the light to like follow up, if you know what I mean. Yeah, she's it can come out extremely slow, and she can just like advance behind it. It provides a lot of frame advantage, just like Ken's. Obviously, you need to watch out with the fact that her fireball is slow. So like when you're in Fireball Wars, you can't mash out fireball like the other characters. You need to wait until it dissipates. But yeah, it just works as like a sort of barrier for any of her mix-up tools, and allows her to get into a press with her godly normals. But yeah, no, basically a lot like Ken's, you use her fireball to force them to stand as well, to keep them close and keep them in the positioning that you want. Sometimes you don't want the knockdown, and you want to keep mixing them up, and that's why hers don't knock down. Obviously they knock down if you hit them out the air, and the same thing is like you can get like enough advantage to sort of jail them like other characters. You can sort of jail them with like light into heavy, but hers dissipate at a certain range, unlike the other Shoto characters. But yeah, this is the fundamental differences between her fireball and the other ones. Her fierce gives like the most frame advantage and is the fastest, and it just kind of goes down up from there. And also her fireballs are 11 frames. That's beyond unreactable. She also recovers incredibly fast to like start moving into other things. She has a lot more recovery compared to like other Shotos, for example. So that makes the entire like dominating space a lot easier. I like to think of Chun-Li's fierce fireball as just like a massive normal. It's very easy to cancel into drive impact after like just throwing out a fierce fireball as well. Though not really a fireball, she has this, which is like a big ball fireball. It's one of her supers. She can do it in the air too, as a sort of mix-up from one of her jump-ins. I have a bit of a hard time getting off, but yeah, it's certainly something. So the thing about Guile is he's the best of every world. So he has slow Hados, like Chun Li, so he can just come in behind them using them as a barrier. He can make them 2 hits, just like Ryu's Denjin charged Hados, and they can be slow. You can also do this with different like speeds. His fast Hado is about almost as fast as the fast Hados from Ken or Ryu. They also recover incredibly fast, so he isn't like put at a bad advantage after his Hado. He can always Shuryu almost instantly afterwards if you're good at charge characters. I'm not the best at charge characters, so keep that in mind. But yeah. Also, if he's at certain ranges, like he can just follow up with it, like something like this. So if he doesn't win the fireball exchange, right? If he doesn't win the fireball exchange, he can like just move forward anyway before you can Hado again. And a lot of his like pressure is using the fact that you can't, like, he's like so dominant in all these ranges, if you know what I mean. So, and getting like these optimal spacings to throw out as many safe Hados as possible. Also, best Shoryuken, like the fastest Shoryuken in the game. Yeah, and he also has this, which just fucks everything up. So like he can just make like thousands of Hados. He can like give them like different properties with this thing. He can like basically, once this is up, he controls the entire horizontal space. Like there's no like, and they give like a lot of advantage as well. Yeah, like his fireballs are the best in the game. He's all about fireballs. Perhaps his fireballs are too good, arguably. But yeah, like he can easily like just Hado into like drive impact like before you can even react. So if you're trying to like cheekily do something like after like trying to get out of his like Hado pressure, you know. Yeah, so like pretty much everything that I could say about that's good about the other fireballs he has. All of his Hados knocked back because he's sort of like Ryu, where he slowly wants to like push you into the corner so he can start doing these like safe Hado loops, setting you back to neutral or even comboing sometimes, you know. And yeah, that's the difference between his fireballs and everyone else's. Also, another thing to note, this move here, this will block Hados and also act as an anti-air. It also acts like sort of like a feint for a Sonic Boom as well, because like you can like sort of feint them out that you're not going to throw a Sonic or whatever, you know. Just throw this out to sort of protect you and move forward, and act as sort of a shield, so it's like a super slow Hado. Guile also has like a timing mechanic with his Hados. When he says perfect, that means it came out perfectly. But if you get like the normal one, I can't do the normal. So, jeez, I'm fumbling it. I'm fumbling the normal one, but he has this whole mechanic about perfect Hados, and they give more frame advantage, etc. And as you can see, you can get the timing quite easily. So Guile also has a super fireball that acts like a vacuum, so let me just get it off. Has this cool vacuum property. Sucks them in, but it really doesn't really bring into a combo because it knocks him back after everything. But it also has anti-air properties depending on which punch button you press. So Dee Jay only has 3 fireballs. They're all fast. He can't make slow fireballs. The thing about Dee Jay's fireballs is they're slow on startup and they have noticeable recovery. So his light fireball is just a taunt or a fake fireball. This is to lure them into the thought that you threw a fireball, that you can just start reacting accordingly. So his medium is like his standard. It's quite fast. It's hard to react to when it comes out, but 17 frame startup, which is ridiculous when you compare it to Guile's. But it's also 17 frames for his strong variant, which is 2 fireballs at the same time, which will just dominate through most fireball wars with most characters. The thing is this is easily jumped over. This is easily jumped over at certain ranges, leaving him vulnerable to being jumped in on. So you have to use that to your advantage. If they jump over it, you're very vulnerable to getting jumped in on. So his other properties is that at certain ranges, his fireballs will juggle, which at the corner allows you to do little combos. But at close range, it just gives you a lot of frame advantage. But it pushes them back enough that it's hard to combo. So your mileage might vary if you could get like a combo out of it. But yeah, this is the basic fundamental differences between his fireballs and the other ones. One further thing to note is that his heavy fireball won't beat OD, and his OD fireball actually comes out at 10 frames, which is actually unreactable and very fast for a fireball. It also will clash with other OD fireballs. How fast you get out the OD allows you to sort of jail with heavy. Something I forgot to mention that is a bit of adjacent to fireballs is that his coward walk looks like he's throwing a fireball, but it's a dead ringer due to the OD glowing glow that he has. Like, this is supposed to throw you off guard, make you think he threw one of his sonic booms or splashers, as they say. But close up, actually, it juggles them for combos and stuff like that. I'm not too good at them, but they do exist. So Juri isn't exactly a fireball character per se. She only has 2 fireballs. But her way to stock fireballs is this quarter circle back kick move, which is also allows you to bring up a sort of fireball. So this kick is like a fireball, and it will nullify other fireballs. And if you do the OD variant, it will block other OD fireballs. And it will give her charges over a gauge that allow her to use the fireball up to 3 times every single time she uses it. If she times it correctly, she can move forward a slight bit with each defense, allowing her to push forward. The fireball that she has is a slow fireball, allowing her to approach safely. It goes under fireballs, so it can't win fireball wars. So she needs to use this to like defeat the other fireballs or jump dive kick. And she also has like Shiryu. Oh jeez, I forgot his punch. Yeah, so she has Shiryu, just like other Chotos, for people jumping in her or trying to get past her fireball game. And her Shiryu's one of the fastest Shiryus in the game. It's 5 frames, which is ridiculous. So she can just sort of use this to move as like with a barrier. You try jumping on her, but she needs to use this to keep her ground if you're throwing fireballs. Her OD fireball has 2 hits to it. It also comes out incredibly fast, and it gives her frame advantage on hit, enough to combo with. Yeah, so it's like it's a different variant of it, certainly. So like you can like throw like multiple out at a time. But yeah, the OD variant doesn't require charge, so it doesn't use up one of your charges when you use it. Yeah, so yeah, that's the difference between her fireballs and the other characters. It's much like Chun Li's, where she sort of uses it as an approach tool. But yeah, She can sort of use her fireballs to lock them into her dive kick. So if you do like this, like they're kind of locked into the ground if they block that to let you approach. Obviously the dive kick's unsafe on block, but you can sort of sometimes like combo on hit from the O into the dive kick. And you also do a lot of small little interesting things with that, and it really does just like zoom over fireballs on reaction. Also, much like Chun Li, you can sort of just consider it like a long normal poke that's out of the range of her like standard ones, but it does have like a comically low startup, so 16 frames. It's 1 frame faster than Dee Jay's, so it's very easy to jump over. But if you do it, oops, wrong one. If you do it, oops, wrong one. If you do it at a range like this, where it's like 11, if it's like 11 frames, it's like hard to react to. It's plus. Yeah, so the OD variant is like leagues better than the standard variant, and is like actually quite of a good combo tool in particular. So she can sort of combo into her fireball off of things. So if you like do something like this, you can, and like you can also further go into it again. So do a lot of things here. Like combo into it like that, you know, a lot of fun different little combos you can do there, but you have to be quick with the quarter circles. It's kind of like a Rekka. So Juri also obviously has her special, which has an enhanced effect with one of her charges. All these projectiles are just basic Hadokens, but I think they go through ODs. Other than that, a nice property to her fireball that's is this will go under like OD fireballs and stuff like that. So a common tactic obviously is to go behind an OD fireball. Hers can't be stopped. So if someone throws an OD fireball and then you go in and you block theirs, your one will go through and give you enough frame advantage to press. So Terry's sort of like the middle ground between Juri and Ryu. He has one of these low fireballs that go over other fireballs. It's not particularly fast, it's like mediocrely fast, but he also has a normal fireball, but it's quite short in distance. His heavy fireball is actually just a combo tool. It will protect you from fireballs, but look at that, 29 frames. You're just gonna lose the fireball if you throw this more throwing this out. You can sort of use it as a taunt or like a feint. So say your opponent is like protecting themselves at a reasonable distance from your fireball game, you could just like throw this out so they drive parry. Like if they're trying to like parry too much, you can throw this out and they'll waste a bar trying to parry it. But yeah, the reason why is because he also has this like move here where he can go over fireballs. So at certain distances, if you try to like jump over his fireball, he can just crack shoot over it, or use his pretty good Shoryuken. His Shoryuken is, it only goes forward a little bit, but it hits front and back. So he's got like a good fireball game generally, and he can use his like OD fireball to go through, and as it hits twice, so it can be like a combo tool. He can combo into like his like level 3 from his fireball at close distance to get like a little bit more damage, and it will only come off once the fireball hits. But yeah, so he can like use this to sort of like approach. So this makes the ground bad, so that you can come in with a crack shot and go over fireballs. This also will go over like any other normal Hado. So yeah, he's like the best of both worlds, really. I wouldn't say he's like specifically a fireball character. He's more better at this range, and to be honest, most fireball characters are better at a short range. I feel like his fireballs are like more of a means to an end of getting you in here. The sort of genius to his sort of fireball game is that you can sort of autopilot into the crack shoot somewhat afterwards at certain ranges, so you can just go from fireball into crack shoot without thinking about it. So if they like jump, they'll automatically get hit by the crack shoot, and also if they're blocking the Hado, they're sort of locked in for like accepting the crack shoot hitting them if they blocked. This sort of lets you ignore the entire Shuryo portion of the entire Hado game, but yeah, it doesn't work at certain ranges. So Terry does have like a super power wave, but it has to hit, so it can't really travel full screen. So oops. You can combo into it from like a lot of his moves. And it uses some of his drive gauge and 3 of his bars to combo with it. But yeah, it's not really a fireball for fireball wars, it's more of a combo tool. Just like this, which I'm not really going to cover, it has a float property, it's mostly used for combos, but getting into that gets quite complicated with Terry. Also, an important thing to note with low fireballs like such as Terry's light one is that, yeah, obviously this goes under OD fireballs, you know? So if someone were to use like a slow fireball they walk behind, they'll get stopped by the low fireball going under it. Also, he's the only character in the cast who can do low fireballs that can interact with Juri's or his own. So it's really got a lot of like elements to it that just sort of don't intuitively come to you. So Luke is a special case for fireballs. His are almost instant, but they're like distance dependent. Like his short light one is 14 frames, so it's unreactable, but it doesn't go very far. You need to be really close up, and even if you hit on block, it's -4, so it's actually disadvantageous for him to get this on block, which plays a lot into fireball games. You really need to have a good fireball on block and then hit. But yeah, it makes his fireballs hard to react to, like for instance for parrying purposes, etc. But he also recovers pretty fast. He recovers quite fast. But if you're doing like heavy fireball from a distance, or like a opportune distance, it can be very easy for them to jump over you and get that jump hit or cross up. Though if you use the heavy ones at close distance, you get more frame advantage, which can allow you to sort of jail at certain ranges. So like there is reason to sort of try and jail at like close distances with it, but it's a real like risk and reward aspect at certain ranges, I would say. His OD fireball goes through other fireballs, and you can also power it up to further defeat any other like properties. So you can like do 2, but as you can see it uses 3 bars. It's a very expensive transaction for winning a fireball war, I'd say. But other than that, yeah, so he recovers fast enough to Shuryu sometimes, and his Shuryu is debatably better than like Ryu's, for example. And he can, if on hit, he can power it up, so he can do this to get slightly more damage for 3 bars. But yeah, looks sort of a strange case. I'm not saying his fireball game is bad, but you can certainly do some interesting things with it on hit. Just try and find your own tempos. But yeah. As you can see, the light is very hard to space to get frame advantage, but medium gets a lot of frame advantage, and it almost makes up for the fact that it has a low startup if you're at certain distances. And then if you can like combo a heavy into like a spam of mediums, you can sort of lock people in. They might start trying to flail around, and you're right at like the sort of cusp of you're at the cusp of distance that most Shuryus will whiff at, like around here, if you know what I mean. And also, you'll notice that his OD knocks down. That's because he's sort of a Ryu clone. He doesn't have a Tatsu, so you can use this to armor through fireballs. But obviously, if someone does an OD, it'll go away. But this goes into an overhead, which is quite good. Luke also has one of the best fireball supers in the entire game. It's like a constant stream of fireballs, but at certain distances, all the hits won't hit, and you can see here, and only the final one will go through. So you always want to be like sort of close. This works as a fantastic anti-air tool, because if they're jumping, this is just a stream, and they'll like get juggled by every hit, and you're invulnerable when it comes out. One of the best fireball supers, or one of the best supers in general in the entire game, and you can sort of combo off of it. Like, yeah, there's a lot you can do with this. So with Dhalsim, you don't naturally think that he is a fireball character, but perhaps he has some of the most complex fireballs in the game. He has this upward fireball here that lands at different distances depending on the strength of it. One second, I'll just show you. It gives you a lot of advantage on hit. He has a slow fireball that he can get behind that gives you a lot of frame advantage on hit and on block. All of his fireballs are 15 frame startup, so like basically they're slower than your average fireball in startup, so he'll lose out on the quick draw. However, his fireballs are so advantageous on block and on hit that it kind of like makes up for it. But they're not as so slow that it is like so disadvantageous. And his OD fireball is 13 frames, which is unreactable. It'll go and like clash with other OD fireballs. This one here, it bounces. And also he has an air fireball that you can have on the screen at the same time. So you can do like stuff like this, or something like this, which is like a cool setup. And you can have like almost as oppressive fire game pressure as like perhaps Akuma. I wouldn't dare say that, but he can also like slide under fireballs to get in. He can do a lot of things. Like I'm not a Dhalsim main per se, but you can combo into his fireballs on block or a hit. So you could, if you get like the right angles for this with his limbs, it provides a lot of pressure. But his fireballs are generally standard. They can't power through OD no matter what circumstance. It's just the angles that he can fire his fireballs which are the interesting factor about it all, and the fact that they're so advantageous on block and on hit. Let's just see, 12 frames, see? 12 frames, see, like, it's like, and see, one hit is even better. It's crazy how good this is, and at certain distances, like, you can sort of chain it. You can use, so he has like this fireball thing that this will clash with Akuma's air fireball, but you can also use this. Like this will destroy any fireballs that are incoming. It just powers through it. So does this. All this, like, all of his fire stuff acts like a fireball per se. Like, if they're keeping it in the, you can only have one on the screen, and yeah, but like his super fire breath will just power through any fireballs. But it is very slow on startup, as you can see. This is slower than his fireball, so it's like, yeah, like, it's like bad on block, so I don't know when you're gonna use this or fit it in, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's like all I really know about Dhalsim's fireballs. You might want to look up Dhalsim guides to get more of the tech into it, because he usually just uses fireballs to sort of get more combos in, but or setups. But his fireball is also knocked down, so like his fireball's knocked down, so because he loves low-key pressure. So like he can also cancel this into fireball. Interestingly enough, I think that's quite cool. So Dhalsim's strange in that he has actually 2 fireball supers technically, if you count his slight yoga flame, like this. This is like a low fireball that like will go under other fireballs. But it will also like go through fireballs. It will also beat out them. Fireball wars and stuff like that. There's also like 3 different variants. That's technically, they're all fireball supers technically. He also has this, which is a big fireball. It's ultra from Street Fighter 4. Depending on what kick button you hit is like how far you'll throw it, and it like explodes. But like when it hits, it like will like sort of combo multiple times, as you can see there. And you can use it in combos. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting, and it also will beat out other supers if it collides with it. So Rashid's fireball game is a bit overwhelming. First of all, he has one simple fireball, each variant, so it's like, it goes up in an arc, so the lightest one goes the farthest, the medium goes that distance, the strong punch goes that distance, strong kick. The thing about these ones is that you can charge them up, so even like the fastest one is like 17 frames, which is reactable and quite slow for a fireball. But if you charge them up, they hit twice, so that will defeat most fireballs. If you charge them up all the way, you get this thing that allows you to charge up your next attack. So, like, for instance, you go there, you see this little wind veil here. So you can, like, power up all your moves. Etc. You can jump higher. There's just so much you can do out of this veil thing. But as you can see here, 53 frames to get that out. But the thing is he's always threatening just letting it rip, and he can just let whatever one he has on him rip at any time, you know. But the thing is you're probably gonna guarantee like some kind of follow up from like the second one, and if it hits, it combos it into stuff, and it can be quite impressive. This has a lot of advantage on hit, and as you can, I'll show you on block, it's quite good as well. So like even on block, it's quite good. You can power up to do like the slow one that you can get behind. See, like OD, you can like charge it up, and then you get this like it's slow, and you can like drive rush behind it. But yeah, it's a lot that you can do from these fireballs, and they really are some of the best fireballs in the game, I would argue. The startup doesn't really draw him back too much when they're so on advantage on hit. He only has to get you on block, and he can start mixing you up with this stuff. It's and you only have to do like usually the light button, because this is the one that's going to go the farthest. You don't really have to do the light variant too much, but you can definitely make some really hard guesses with this. He also has one of the best Shuryus in the entire game to a quarter circle forward. It beats all anti-airs. The strong variant beats all cross-ups. The OD variant is invincible on wake up. And then also this one goes through fireballs as well. If you power up this, you can do this. It's even faster. You can do this, and then it's like super fast and like super good. You can also do a like super powerful version of his Shuryu, but I don't know why you would want to do that when you can just do this, which is so impressive. Almost hits anti-air anyway, and leaves them -2 on block. Now, I'm not trying to mention all the supers, but obviously I don't mention every super, but he has this thing, which is just a massive projectile wall that has so many different properties that you can combo, float people into. There's so many setups. I could be here all day. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. In researching how to do like some properties of Mai's fireballs, I found this handy guide for Mai's fireballs, which pretty much encapsulates everything that you need to know about Mai's fireballs, etc. So I'm just going to put this in. It's Diaphone. I'm going to leave the full video in the description if you want to pursue that. But this is everything you need to know about Mai's fireballs. Fuck, that was the wrong video. I'll put the real video on. Here we go.
Probably one of the best, if not the best, fireballs in the game. And the reason is it's very versatile. You have 3 versions of the fireball: light, medium, and heavy. But the main advantage is you can charge these. So you can do like a partial charge, which is really useful for like frame traps and throwing the opponent off. And you can do a full charge. And the main benefit of full charge, it kind of bounces on the opponent. There's 3 versions. The light barely bounces, the medium bounces a good amount, and the heavy bounces a large amount. But really what makes this fireball strong is the EX version of it, right? You essentially get all the benefits of the regular fireball, but when it's EX, it goes through other people's fireballs and you still get a mix up, right? You can do something like EX fan, dash up, throw in between, and it's a very, very potent mix-up tool. And I think in order to use this fireball the best, you have to kind of understand how it works in the system of Street Fighter 6. Your normal fireball actually loses to the regular fireball. And even if I throw out the charge one, it just clashes. But he takes less risk because his fireball's slower, he doesn't have to charge his fireball up, right? But this is where EX fan comes into play. If I throw an EX fan, at the same time he throws his fireball, it says punish counter, which means I punish the recovery of his fireball, which means I can do something like this. You took almost a third of their health, and you dragged them all the way to the corner just for them throwing a fireball. And because of that, because they're really scared of this EX fireball, then you can start to get away with the regular charge fireball, right? The other thing you might be wondering is, like, why don't I just always throw out the charge fireball? This doesn't seem that good, and it's not. One of the main reasons that makes it bad is like you can actually just like hit the fan. So it's not very strong. But the main advantage, if I charge a fireball with Mai, I'm gonna react to this fireball start with a jump. See, I'm able to react with a punish counter, and you take a bunch of damage. So how I like to think of the regular fireball is it's to bait out someone trying to react to my charged fireball, right? So again, here I try to like react to the fireball, I just get anti-aired, and you can kind of continue your game from there. Really, when you're starting out with Mai, it's really important to understand how all the fireballs work together in tandem. The regular fireball is used to bait them into jumping. The charged fireball is when you get them to stay on the ground and you go in for pressure. And the EX fireball is to beat other people's fireballs or to hedge against jump because, right, if I try to react to EX with jump, I just get anti-aired, right? You can also charge up this EX fan as well. There's two versions. You have the regular fireball, which shows out 2 fans. And if you hold forward and punch, you get 4 fans, which is really, really strong. These are good. The issue is that, right, you're just more susceptible to being jumped. If you end up getting this out, what are they gonna do? They can like jump forward, but you can anti-air. So you're kind of just like forced to block, really. And the other cool thing is like, let's say I do this. And then I can like throw in between the gap. So imagine like a full screen neutral skip that you get a mix up off of. One of the best specials in the game for a reason. All right, the next 2 tips are around using the fireball as well. So because this fireball is really strong, you have to keep them on the ground. And the best way to do that is get really, really good at anti-air. Now she has a few anti-airs. For example, like this back heavy kick can work. Not very well, I never use it, but it technically can work, right? This core circle heavy punch can work too. It's really rewarding. But for new players, what I actually recommend is just getting really good at doing her dragon punch or her, I'm not saying this, rising, her rising knee strike. The light version is nice because it kind of covers like this angle right above her, and it goes pretty horizontal as well. So even from here, it still reaches. Now, one of the disadvantages is like from like right outside of round start distance, if they don't hit a button, they just empty jump and you do light DP, it's gonna whiff. But if you do medium, it'll reach. And technically heavy works too. But I like to stick to just light and medium. Light being for when they're close, medium for when they're a little bit far. And of course, there's like different ways to do the DP. So for example, you can do it from crouching. You just do down, forward, down, forward. You can do forward, down, forward, forward. So like this, see how like I can do it like super quick, or you just do it the traditional way. A big mistake beginner Mai players make is they'll do this and then they'll just go back to zoning. Really what you want to do is you want to go in. Your whole goal of this move is to deter them from jumping so you can get this charge fan out. And if all you do is tack on a little bit of damage, they aren't going to be scared to jump, right? Because the reward of a jump is like way higher, right? Like this does like triple the damage of your anti-air. So in order to get more damage out from these situations, after you do the anti-air, you go in. You have a few options, right? You can go for drive rush mix up. You can go for just dash forward throw. You can even go for like you just do tackle after and you're plus on block. There's a lot of different options, but the whole goal is like land that and then use that to start your offense. You can even just charge a fan after if you want something really easy, right? But the whole goal, make them pay for jumping at you. All right, so tip number 3 is to make sure you're using your ground buttons. It can be really tempting to just kind of throw fireball and wait for a jump. The issue is that it loses the people just kind of like walking forward and bullying you, right? Because if you're just waiting for the jump, they get in for you for free, they hit buttons and they start chunking your drive gauge, right? So it's really important to make sure you're also hitting buttons such as their stand heavy kick and their stand heavy punch in order to like kind of box them out. So for example, if someone's just walking at me, I could throw a fireball, I'm not gonna get much, right? But if I do something like this, it's gonna do a lot of damage. Let's say the opponent's trying to do like walk forward button and they miss and you happen to do your stand heavy kick, you get some pretty decent damage. And corner carry, and then you get to start your gameplay, right? Now, this thing about stand heavy punch is it's cancelable. So on block, it's really good because you can throw your fireball. You can actually be plus. This is really strong. You can also just do stand heavy punch nothing in case you think they're gonna DI or they're gonna do something else. Or if you want to be cheeky, you can do stand heavy punch, charge the fireball, and then go in. So you have a lot of different options off these ground pokes, right? There's no option from the opponent that deals with everything. So for example, like let's say the opponent's just like mashing medium kick after, right? Like, okay, yes, that's gonna check me. If I do the fireball at the right distance or partially hold it, I'm just gonna counter hit them. I'm gonna get some free damage. And so then the opponent's gonna be like, all right, I'm scared to medium kick. Then you get this charge, and then you go in for a throw, you go in for a mix. Tip number 4 is crouch medium kick. Crouch medium kick, very, very strong in Street Fighter because what the opponent wants to do against your buttons is make him whiff, right? So I can do something like this, right? And the way I do that is I walk back and forth. What's the best way to stop someone from walking back and forth? Instead of like whiffing button, you just go forward, press crouch medium kick, drive rush, and now they're in the corner and now they have to guess. Having a cancelable crouch medium kick is a privilege in this game, and you want to make sure you're using it. All right, so tip number 5 is her level 1, which in my opinion is probably the best level 1 super in the game. And the reason this is the best level 1 super in the game is because it grants you access to these flame stocks. And the idea of a flame stock is that it enhances your special moves. And so oftentimes you want to land this as much as possible. And you can land in a few ways. You know, if it's a really good anti-air, does a bunch of damage. You can use it as a reversal on wake up as invincibility after EX Ryembu. And in the corner just after your heavy Ryembu. And there's a few other ways, but those are the most common. Yes, it gives her a little extra damage, but in matchups where characters have fireballs, which is like half the cast, as you can imagine, like if you don't want to spend EX, this can get really annoying, right? But if you land your fire, or even just on whiff, and we get back into the situation, my fireballs now be his, which means I control neutral, and I get extra damage on my combos, and now I basically win the game.
Also, her fireball charge super, this one will destroy other fireballs that come close to it. But yeah, as you can see, this special is complete bullshit. You can do shit like this. Just totally oppressive. And it can really just make you almost unbeatable in fireball battles. Even with like Guile, it's insane how powerful our fireballs with this charge is on. And yeah, it's something you want to be whipping out. Anyway, I think that Diaphone covered it the best way possible, and I covered everything that is really important to the fireball properties. But yeah. So, Ed's sort of like an anti-fireball character, where all of his fireballs spawn from this little barrier that he brings up, which will parry fireballs coming into him. So, but it's very obviously a very slow start up for his fireballs if he was trying to like zone you out. All of these fireballs are really great on block and hit. So it's not about getting them like the properties on hit. It's just how slow these fireballs are. These are some of like the slowest fireballs in the game for zoning. He has like a very great Shuryu that goes through fireballs. And the thing is like he's just wanting to like wall. He wants to wall your Hados out, so like you don't like you can't get your fireballs into him as he slowly moves forward, starts applying like his dominant like strings and stuff like that. And he can also like use this whip thing that can like pull people forwards and stuff like that, or he could do like this to get in. He really wants to be up and close doing his like really oppressive sort of normals and stuff like that. So this fireball, like his fireball is designed to keep that. His fireball like OD knocks down, and it blocks OD with the shield, but obviously you need to be quite quick with it to like apply the offensive pressure. But he loves the O-key. He has this kind of like Superman punch like Marissa to like move in over crouch medium kicks. And yeah, he also like I'm not trying to mention every super unless they're like particularly egregious, but wrong one. But he has this, which is just like a wall of fireball sort of like Rashid's, and it's really oppressive. Either way, his like kind of like game plan is to just parry away your fireballs, move in, like parry, like move in, you know. And it's not saying he's like has no zoning. You probably could potentially zone out some poor Zangief player, but yeah, nah, he's sort of like a wild card in the terms of fireball science, if you say so you say, you know what I mean. But yeah, like very cool character, very unique take on a Shuryu or a Shoto. The entire reason why his fireballs exist is because his best moves are all charge moves where fireballs are best used, or like crouch medium distance. So his fireball allows him to like move from this part of the screen forward to get into this good area where characters without fireballs would struggle. So that's like the whole nature of his fireball. He's an anti-fireball character because he's weak to fireballs. Now, Aki isn't particularly a fireball character, but she has a lot of tools to get around them. She has like these techniques to just sort of like ignore fireballs and get around them. I think you can like also like combo into them. She has like so much variety around fireballs, etc. But she also has this, which is sort of like one of your ground fireballs. It doesn't matter if it's blocked. It's basically an unblockable fireball that poisons them and will generally just slowly take away their health. But she has two fireballs, which is this one. This one, it basically has to be blocked. So if they block, let's go back to normal. If they block it, they won't get like poisoned. And it's very slow, so you can just move up behind it and start putting on your pressure, just kind of like Chun Li's fireballs. She also has an OD variant of this, and she can go through this, right? But she can also whip it, so that makes it an anti-air fireball. So if they try to jump over your fireball, you can at the last moment make it an anti-air fireball. So this goes two ways, but yeah, if they get hit by this fireball, like they get poisoned, they can parry it though. But yeah, there's it's one of those ones that's very oppressive. So you can only have this out in the screen at the same time. Do this, like just so many things. She really can like almost become a zoner with how much of her, like how oppressive her poison is on the screen. Yeah, so as you can see, and our moves are all about getting over fireballs as well. She like this thing, like this coward slide into, like, yeah. The only thing is that she doesn't have like a real Shuryu, a real invincible Shuryu, but she has tons of anti-airs. I forget. It's like yeah. So like, yeah, she has like these like anti-airs. She has this. It's not a fireball, but it will block fireballs. Like, and it's 2 hits, so it'll block the 2 hit fireballs. This obviously goes through like the OD ones as well, and also like you don't want it hitting you, and it's kind of slow on startup, but the OD one's slightly faster. Still reactable, both are reactable, but you kind of want them to react so you can do the pop. And yeah, it knocks down. She's a character that loves all this O-key pressure. Like it can get really oppressive, but like, yeah, I'm just like tapping buttons right now, and yeah, it's, it gets really like crazy. Yeah, but yeah. So her fireball is a very oppressive fireball in terms of as they come, especially due to her fireball zoning abilities as well. It's there's really like things that she can do about them, and a really anti-Shoto almost, I'd say. So JP is a wild card in terms of projectiles and the fireballs category. He has the slowest fireballs on startup in the game. However, due to that, he has some of the best properties on these fireballs. He, for example, has an unblockable fireball. It's a grab, but his light fireball is has a knockdown. He really likes knockdowns, so that you can set up this, which is this little portal, which it like set up a booby trap that allows for him to get more like frame advantage on his fireballs, so that you can eventually go in for the grab. So basically, so like you'll like do this, like this, like stuff like, yeah, like can like combo into it, stuff like that. He has like when he OD does his portals, he can like do stuff like that. He can teleport through his portals to get pressure. When he gets a knockdown, he can like start drive rushing in so that he can be in range to do stuff. I'm not JP main, so, but yeah, his mediums and overhead, his heavies and low. These are obviously like things that other projectiles don't have. Yeah, so he's a very like interesting character. He has this move that allows him to start like making a lot of portals, allowing more setups. It's a very oppressive move that just surrounds them and like projectiles and stuff like that. You can like do something like this. And like, yeah, there's so much stuff that you can do with it. But yeah, he has the slowest fireballs in the game. And I'm not joking, like, see it here, like 22 frames start up, 26 frames start up, 26, you know, extremely slow fireballs that are very reactable. That's why he always needs like these portals up so that he can sort of mitigate that and protect himself. But yeah, he's very dominant in this like part of the screen, so he can just keep spamming you with things depending on like it's a complete guessing game almost. It's very hard to get in on him if he gets a good read on you. A lot like Dhalsim, if you know what I mean, but with projectiles. But the weird thing is that these projectiles, in terms of like fighting with other projectiles, are pretty lame. These will always like kind of lose out to any other projectiles unless they're the OD variant. This really has to be jumped almost though. But other than that, yeah, I'm not really a JP main, so if I were to go more into depth into his projectiles properties, I'd be here all day, just be basically making a full JP guide, if you know what I mean, because this guy is all projectiles. So if you're looking into getting something off, it's like he doesn't have any projectiles that outright beat other ones or anything like that, but yeah, something to write home about. So also, like, an important thing to mention is that the entire time that the fireball is on the screen, he is in a punish counterable state. So if you get around his fireballs with a jump in, you'll get like a punish counter bonus. Like, see, if you look at the bottom left, like startup, he also doesn't do well with jump ins. He doesn't have a Shuryu. This is like a strong, powerful like mid attack, but it's not like a Shuryu. he has this move. This move will like stop them from jumping at full screen. You can combine it with like this, you can combine it with like your spikes. You can combine it with spikes, set up, stuff like that, you know. But there's a lot of like there has to be like a lot of hard reading with it, so it can get quite in depth. He has this parry thing that like will cause him to like just block a hit if you're jumped in on. It's down kick. But yeah, he really wants you to be knocked down so he can set up the portals and stuff like that and start setting up more fireballs. And a good GP main is using like a combination of getting like O-key and like knockdowns and stuff like that into like the grab, etc. But yeah, JP also has a completely ridiculous SA1 fireball. This one here, it will go through other fireballs. It acts like any of the other ones, but it's quite vertical, so it can sometimes hit people out of the air. So Akuma has like the best fireballs potentially in the game. His light fireball is slow enough that you can drive rush after it. You can charge it up so that it can knock down and then becomes 2 hits, defeating all normal fireballs. Medium is slightly faster on startup, unreactably fast, provides a lot of advantage on hit. Also can just be charged up for a mix-up. The fierce version is the fastest, and it provides like a lot of great frames on hit and on block. Very good, just like general fireball tool. You can just sort of spam these at a very fast pace. They're very fast and they recover really fast, so like when you're at this range you can really like just do like ungodly amounts of fireballs. You can also float with your fireball just like Ryu can. You can also do aerial fireballs and stuff like that. It's like something he can do. He can also do this little hop thing that like jumps over, but if you do it like this, you can also throw a fireball. But it's a little bit tricky to do his demon flip fireball, but very fast, hard to react to. His Tatsu, like his light Tatsu, is like combinable into his DP, so it can like go through short fireballs if you time it right and at your right distance. You can show you afterwards. But his medium will go over fireballs anyway. He also has the anti-air Tatsu that Ken has. He also has Ryu's sort of safe stationary Tatsu, so like it's safe on block, and so like if you do it like here, but it's also slightly in the air, so it anti-airs a little bit. So it's like a combination of both Ryu and Ken's best Tatsu properties. On top of that, he has one of the best DPs in the game. Very fast, 5 frames. The anti-air one is double hits. The fierce one, very wide, very horizontal, 7 frames. And the OD one is one of the most damaging ODs in the game. 6 frames, very great. Like very, very powerful things. He also has a grab. He also has a full screen projectile invincible grab teleport thing, so you can do this. Extremely OP, as you can imagine. It just like goes through everything. It's punishable by jumping, but you can like meaty this almost. Go over to the other side of you, you know. some crazy shit you can do with this. Just complete fireball killer, you know. You can definitely like just like you can end up like fireball, and these are all like good on block as well. Like these are fantastic properties that, for like block or hit. Well, you don't need to hit. You don't have to hit like fantastically with his fireballs. These provide like chip damage enough pressure. If you know what I mean, like you can just like it takes like a little bit of drive gauge every single time you hit some block. And he's plus to jail you enough with like this other one. Like if he keeps hitting these fireballs, if you don't have like some kind of like drive parry answer, like he can force you to drive parry almost with fireballs. Like that's almost the only answer to how many fireballs he can fire. Yeah, and he like his OD, like if he charges it, like it makes like the charge up like significantly faster, and this will beat every fireball in the game almost, except for a super. Like this thing, it's like it's obscene, and this like fireball on block is super plus on block, so sometimes it's even just worth throwing out there, you know. But yeah, he has some of the best fire. I don't know how to put it other than he has like some of the best fireballs in the game, you know. Like so, I can like do like stuff like that, you know, like just crazy shit. And the reason why this is he's like all the other characters are balanced around like something like Ryu gets his charge, etc. But Akuma is balanced around the fact that he has less health than others. So that just means he can be like a obnoxious boss character that basically can just fuck everyone up because he just has slightly less health. I don't know if there's gonna like get patched out, but yeah, truly his fireballs are like in a league of their own. They're probably up there with the JP and Guile and A.K.I in terms of their zoning capabilities. Basically, Akuma is good in every range. There's no range where he's unadvantageous position. He loses the fire game due to a skill issue, mainly. Akuma's also got one of the best fireball specials in the game. It's just sort of like Ryu's, but slightly worse. Like Ryu can use his Denjin charge to power through it, but it's still a very great super. Not his best, but a fantastic super. His die 1000 deaths goes through fireballs as well. It's very good for that. Well, that's the end of my guide on the different properties of Hado or Fireball. I might make other guides for any new Fireball characters that get added to Street Fighter 6. But a lot of all of these techniques and abilities and properties actually transcend every single game in the franchise. A lot of the properties of Fireball's legacy characters stay the same between games and between patches. So likely a lot of these properties that are within the game currently are definitely not going to be patched out anytime soon. So a lot of this legacy knowledge will be helpful for you. But anyway, I hope you guys have had a good time. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something from it. And give me a like, comment, subscribe. This took a lot of effort, and thank you for watching with me today. Ciao.